Salvete discipuli. I hope that you're all doing well and staying healthy and safe. I miss seeing you all in the classroom and learning Latin together, but I'm excited for this chance that we have to keep learning Latin through video and online resources. So today, during this video, we are going to do some Latin review on things that we've learned before, and I'll give you some time to practice what we've learned. So I hope this is helpful. As you're watching this video, it would be really helpful if you could print out the Latin lesson plan that I sent you and fill that out as we are working together today. This lesson plan will have a lot of places where you can fill in the blank or work on translation, and we'll go over it in the video. And so I think it would be really helpful if you can be filling that out as we go. If you're not able to, that's okay. You could also just grab a piece of paper and take notes or translate that way. But either way, it would be a good idea to pause this video really quick and go grab a piece of paper or that printed lesson plan so that we can get started. Okay, so even though we're not in the classroom together, I still want to start by saying the Lord's Prayer. So, discipuli oremus. Pater noster, qui es in caelis, sanctificetur nomen tuum, adveniat regnum tuum. Fiat voluntas tua, sicut in caelo et in terra. Panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie, et dimitte nobis debita nostra. Sicut et nos dimittimus debitoribus nostris. Et ne nos inducas in tentationem, sed libera nos a malo. Amen. All right, third graders, we are going to review a little bit of the Grammatica Latina that we've been learning, our Latin grammar. And so we remember that every noun in Latin is either singular or plural. What does singular mean? Singular means just one, right? The boy sat in the chair. The boy is singular, there's only one boy. And then plural. Plural means more than one. The girls played in the gym. Girls is plural. There's more than one girl. Now, Latin also has 3 genders. And remember, this is different than English. In English, our nouns don't have genders, but in Latin they do. They can either be masculine, feminine, or neuter. So they can either be singular or plural, and they can be masculine, feminine, or neuter. And remember, this changes the endings of our nouns in Latin. And so we're going to take a look at those different endings. We have a chart right here, and this should look the same as what we've gone over in class before. I've made this chart, and this should also be the same chart that you'll see in your Latin lesson plan notes today. So if you are taking notes, then you can go ahead and fill them in as we're working through this. So masculine, what is our masculine singular ending for the Latin words that we've learned so far? For our nouns, our masculine singular ending is us, and our Latin masculine plural ending is e. So singular we have us, plural we have e. Then moving on to feminine. Third graders, think about it. What is our feminine singular ending? It's a and a, right? And our plural ending is I, A-E. So you can go ahead and fill that in. And then what about neuter? Our singular neuter ending is Our plural neuter ending is a. Now we have all of these endings here on the chart, and we need to ask ourselves, what words would use those endings? So I want us to think, what are some masculine words that we have learned in Latin that would follow this pattern of ending in us when they're singular and ending in e when they're plural? Think about it. One of them is the word fluvius. What does fluvius mean, third graders? Fluvius means river. So we have fluius when it's singular, and what would it be when it's plural? Fluvii. So here we see we have the us ending when the word is singular, and that means one river, just river. And then we have fluvii, the e ending when it's plural, which would mean what? It would mean rivers. What's another word we can think of? Another masculine word that follows those endings. Well, one other word I can think of would be numerus. So we have numerus, and then what would the plural be? The plural would be numeri. So we have the us ending when it's singular and the e ending when it's plural. Now there are other words you could think of too, like okeanus, and you can go ahead and write all the words you can think of that follow this pattern on the lesson plan where it says, what are some examples of masculine nouns? You can go ahead and write down whatever you can think of. Now moving on to feminine, what are some nouns that follow these endings? What are some feminine nouns in Latin? One that we know and we've worked with a lot before is insula. So insula, it has that a ending when it's singular, when it means one island, and then its plural is insulae, has that ae ending when it's plural, when it means more than one island. Can we think of any other words? What about the word littera, letter? So we have littera when it means just one letter, and then we have litterae when it means more than one letter, when we mean letters. So we see it all follows that pattern of a, I, a, I. Can you think of any other words that have these feminine endings? Think about it. And then we come to neuter. Our endings are when it's singular and a when it's plural. Can we think of any words that follow that pattern? What about oppidum? So we have oppidum when it's singular, that ending, and oppida when it's plural, that a ending. So oppidum would mean one city, oppida would mean more than one city, cities, right? What is another word that would follow that pattern? What about exemplum, example? So exemplum would mean one example, exemplar would mean more than one example, examples. So we can see they follow this pattern again, a. Can you think of any other words that would follow that pattern too? All right, good work. So if you are working through the lesson plan, you can go ahead and finish filling that out if you're still working. And then we are going to move on to some translation. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this. And we are going to begin working on translating some sentences and then seeing if they are singular or plural. So the first sentence, number 1, that we'll work on is nilus fluius est. Nilus fluius est. If you're working through the lesson plan, this will be the first sentence in the translation section on the second page. Nilus fluius est. What's the translation there? Well, we know Nilus is the Nile. Fluius means river, and est is. And so we know that we're going to have to switch up the order here because in Latin, many times the verb comes at the end of the sentence, but we need to put it in where it makes sense. So instead of saying the Nile River is, that doesn't make sense. We are going to say the Nile is a river. The Nile is a river. Now, third graders, we need to decide if this sentence is singular or plural. So let's take a look at it and see if we can see any clues. We have the Nile, and then we have fluvius, ends in US. If we look at the chart that we just made, we look to see, is the ending us here, is it a singular or a plural ending? The ending us is a singular masculine ending. So that gives us one clue. We know fluvius is singular. It's only talking about one river. Then we look at est. What does est mean? Est means is. Now this gives us a clue too, because if I'm talking about just one thing, I'll use the word is. I'll say the boy is sitting in a chair. If I'm talking about the girls playing in the gym, I can't say the girls is playing in the gym. That doesn't make sense. So whenever we see est, that gives us a big clue that we're talking about singular. So this sentence is singular. You can go ahead and circle that if you're working through the first one. All right, let's take a look at the second sentence. The second sentence is Nilus et Rhenus. Nilus et Rhenus fluvii sunt. Okay, let's take a look at the sentence. Nilus et Rhenus fluvii sunt. Now, Nilus et Rhenus, we know that means the Nile and the Rhine and then we have sunt. What does sunt mean, third graders? Sunt means are. So the Nile and the Rhine are rivers. Fluvii, rivers. All right, so we have the Nile and the Rhine are rivers. And we need to decide, is this sentence singular or plural? So we're going to take a look at it. We have the Nile and the Rhine. All right, that's our first clue. Nilus et Rhenus. We're talking about two things. Two things. And then we see here, fluvii. That ending right here, e, is that singular or plural? Well, if we look at the chart we made, we see that e is the plural masculine ending. And then we see sunt here. Sunt means are, and we just talked about when we see is, est, we know it's singular. When we see sunt or are, we know that it's plural. So the second sentence here is plural. All right, good work, third graders. Go ahead and finish writing that in. We're moving on to sentence number 3. Sentence number 3, Creta insula est. Creta insula est. All right, I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to try working through it on your own, and then we'll come together. All right, third graders, what did you get? That's right, Crete is an island. Crete is an island. And so we have to figure out, is this sentence singular or plural? Well, let's look. We see we're talking about Crete. I don't see anything else. Crete here, that's just one thing that we're talking about. There's only one Crete. And then we see insula, this A ending. Now this could be a little tricky, actually, but we know the word insula. We know the word insula is a feminine word. And so the a ending here, that is a singular feminine ending. We are only talking about one island. And then we have est, and we just learned that est is a clue that this sentence is singular. So Creta insula est is a singular sentence. Good work. Go ahead and circle singular. Then we're going to work on number 4. Creta et Rhodus insulae sunt. Creta et Rhodus insulae sunt. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to work on figuring this out on your own. All right, third graders, what did you decide it meant? We have Crete and Rhodes are islands. Crete and Rhodes are islands. And so let's take a look. Is this singular or plural? So we see Crete and Rhodes. All right, we have more than one thing. We're talking about 2 different places now. Then we look at insulae, that AE ending. What do we know about that AE ending? Well, we know it's the plural feminine ending. So that means more than one island. We're talking about islands. Then we see sunt. And we learned that sunt is a clue that we're talking about more than one thing. So we know this sentence here, number 4, is plural. Good work, third graders. Okay, we're almost done. We have 2 more sentences. Okay, so number 5. Brundisium oppidum est. All right, I'm giving you 30 seconds. Go ahead and work on this sentence on your own. Brundisium oppidum est. Okay, third graders, what did you get? That's right, we have Brundisium is a city. Brundisium is a city. Because we have Brundisium here, oppidum means city, est is. Good work. Now we're going to take a look. Is this sentence singular or plural? What do you think? Well, we're only talking about one thing, Brundisium here. And then we have oppidum, this ending. We know when we have this ending, that is singular neuter ending. So we have singular, and then we have est. And we learned the clue that when we see est, it means is. And we're only talking about one thing. So this sentence number 5 is singular. Good work. You can go ahead and write that down, circle the word singular, and then we'll work on the last sentence together. We have Brundisium et Tusculum oppida sunt. Brundisium et Tusculum oppida sunt. So go ahead, work on this sentence on your own for about 30 seconds. All right, third graders, what did you get? So we have Brundisium and et, right? Tusculum. These words stay the same because they're city names. Sunt are Oppida cities. Good work. You can go ahead and write that down if you haven't already. And then we're going to go take a look. Is it singular or plural? So we see Brundisium et Tusculum. So we have two city names. That's our first clue. More than one city. We have Oppida. Oppida. Now this could be confusing because that A ending a is the same feminine singular and neuter plural. So that could be confusing, but we think about it. We know the word oppidum, and we know that word is neuter. So we know this is the neuter plural ending. So we have plural, more than one city, it's cities, and then sunt. Sunt is our clue too, because we know when we see the word sunt, when it's R, we're talking about more than one thing. So number 6 is plural. Good work. All right, third graders, great work today. We reviewed our singular and plural, masculine, feminine, and neuter, and we had the chance to translate together. And so, great work today. If you need help filling out the rest of your worksheet, or if you want to know if you got something right and need to look at the answers, I am also sending an answer sheet for your parents. So your parents can go check your work, and you can go see if you made any mistakes and make the corrections that you need to make. And I'll go ahead and keep sending you videos every week until we're able to meet again in person. So, discipuli walete.